Hello everyone. Let's proceed on to the next chapter, Citizenship of NCERT Political Theory. Now, first come first, the basics. What is citizenship? Citizenship is akin to membership to a political community, a membership to a political organization, and here the organization being talked about is state or a national government, whichever country you belong to, whichever country is being talked about. So citizenship is like enrolling in a political entity, in a political group with shared shared beliefs, shared rights and responsibilities. Responsibilities. As in case of India, the Indian citizens, there are multiple ways of gaining Indian citizenship, but right now, whoever the Indian citizens are, they are given by certain rights by the states, such as the fundamental rights, part 3, and the other legal rights that help in the execution of those fundamental rights. Other than that, there are also directive principles or directions to states, to the state or to the government. These directions are the the steps that a state or a state government must undertake in order to make the lives of people meaningful or to help people in enjoying their rights. Uh, Other than rights and DPSP or directions, we have fundamental duties, which are just or an outline of the responsibilities we have for the state and for the society itself. So these are some common responsibilities. In short, if we take whole aura of citizenship in one club, it it signifies that during the freedom struggle, all sections of all the diverse Indian society, they came together and they outlined a charter of uh, a charter of promises, a charter of things that they wanted if they come together, if they get mobilized, if they cooperate, and if they win the freedom struggle. So these are the same things. These are the pointers of a charter that they need in their future life. So the the points or the promises that have been accepted have been outlined as such, which mostly are rights and directions. So both of these form important part of our constitution. Rights belong to part 3 of the constitution and directions, the DPSPs, they belong to part 4 of constitution. And these these rights and directions, they have been there to help people differentiate between uh, how they have been ruled by a colony or colonizers, how they have been ruled since or ruled before the struggle is gone, before India got independence. So the clear difference was that the nationalist leader and the people of that struggle, or in short, Indian people, when they came together, and first they were totally fed up with any other ruler, any uh, external power, any external influence. So in the first group, they wanted freedom, they wanted independence, they wanted free will, so that they are decided to make decisions for themselves. So at first, because of that long exploitation, they were fed up with all sources of external power. They wanted the power with themselves. So first it was a talk of sovereignty, that they need the power for themselves. And when they needed the power for themselves, and the talks have spread among the population that wanted to take participate in the freedom struggle, the diverse section of people, so they raised this issue that if power is given to the people, the power is given to the Indian people, the already forward people, uh, the privileged people, the advantaged people, they will secure the power for themselves. So who is going to guarantee, who is going to address the issue of discrimination, who is going to address the issue that this power should be shared equally? So this power sharing talk, this power sharing issue, it has been dealt by the citizenship issue, or the citizenship. So in when you look citizenship through the the historical background of freedom struggle, and how the talks went on, how the discussions went from one issue to the another, the citizenship here in this present case, or in the Indian case, it signifies a combined will of people, combined will, a combined acceptance of people, that if they join a certain political organization, which here means India, which here means Indian state. So it was accepted that if they join political community, if they join India, they needed to secure for themselves first the assurance that power will be shared equally, and then all diverse section of people, they will be granted rights, and the state, it will be hold accountable, and no other power is going to influence them. And the fourth one issue is that, and whoever is governing on their behalf, it will be held accountable. And the final sense, the sovereignty, was I have already highlighted it, but still democracy should have a place in it. So these 5 points, they have been discussed and agreed upon before joining the membership of a political state known as India. Now, this is the background, and let's proceed on to the chapter. So, by introduction, citizenship has been defined as full and equal membership of political community, which here it means India or Indian state. And in contemporary world, so in the modern world, states or the governments, national governments, they provide collective political identity to their members. And along with collective political identity, they also grant certain rights. And so the first question that comes to mind, why should a person join a particular community? Why should a person uh, take citizenship of a national government? There need to be some significance attached to it. There need to be some importance attached to it. So the importance of full membership, or importance of getting citizenship of a state, is that rights, direction, they already mentioned, rights, direction, sovereignty, accountability, and democracy, all are given to those who enroll for the membership. And here an example of those people has been given who have not been granted citizenship of any country. So these refugees, whether they are climate refugees, whether they are uh, persecuted people or illegal migrants, those who have not been granted, they are living a precarious life. They are living really a sorry life, such as the Palestinian issue that is raging in Middle East right now, the issue between Israel and Palestine. And other than that, the the Mexicans that cross over to the US, they are also living a very dangerous and very risky life. Now, the topic was about the benefits of joining a political community. So, this benefits are most democratic countries. If an individual joins it, the benefits are political rights like right to vote, civil rights, freedom of speech, and many other socio-economic rights such as welfare benefits or affirmative action, such as if you are US citizen or if you are Indian citizen, there are many welfare policies that are available to you, and there are many such rights that are not available to the aliens. So aliens here are the people who do not have the citizenship of the country that is being talked about. So there is a clear distinction between aliens and citizens. Otherwise, the whole idea of citizenship would not matter if everybody is given equal rights and the rights are equally enjoyable by the people who have the rights and people who do not have the citizenship. So, in such a case, if such differences are not there, why would people join any country? So, such benefits are given, and because of those benefits, the concept of citizenship, it makes sense. So the equality of rights, the right to education, minimum wage are such basic rights or some basic facilities or basic incentives that come with joining a political membership. Now the freedom struggle has already been discussed. So many of the rights that we have now, I am talking about the people world over. So the citizenship rights in modern contemporary countries, many of those rights are won after struggle, whether it is French Revolution, whether it is anti-colonial struggle in Asia and Africa, whether it is struggle in Latin America. The struggles, most of them, they have been long drawn out, and some of them were violent. And so the citizenship that has been uh, achieved and acquired after a long struggle, it holds some place in political science and in our collective memory. Uh, Here, example is given of the South Africa, where black African population had to take a long struggle against ruling white minority for equal citizenship. And here you can recall the person Nelson Mandela, who spent 20 years of his youth in jail to achieve an equality between the black and the white persons. So that was the height of a struggle a person could undertake to achieve. So the- first, in our collective memory, in our dear hearts, we need to accept this thing. We need to keep this in our mind that the citizenship that we have now, it should not be taken as granted. It was not just a give and take thing. We have had to struggle long. Even the Indian population, we have had to struggle eh, for a long time from 1757 to 1947. It's a struggle for 190 years, and even the if you uh, draw the struggle from the formation of Indian National Congress, that was in 1885. So from 1885 to 1947, that is 15 and 47, it is also some 62 years. So whichever way you see it, so it was a struggle that spanned decades, and we have had to suffer a lot. It will be only clear to you in while you read the history. And even now, many such communities, such as women, the Dalits, the scheduled tribes, the indigenous communities, the LGBTQ. So many of the newer communities, they are also asking for full citizenship because it is not available to many such people. You can take example of two countries, Sri Lanka and Myanmar. In both the countries, a particular majority is controlling the shots there, they're controlling all the cards. So in Sri Lanka, there is an issue between the Tamils and Sinhalese, and the Sinhalese, the majority people, they are holding all the cards there, and Tamil, most of the migrants from India, the Sri Lankan Tamils, they have not been granted equal status to that of Sinhalese. So this issue has been raising for a long time. Even they have had to suffer a long civil war under Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. Litte, you might have heard about the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. And the other country, Myanmar, and this issue is still raging on. You may, as being civil servant, you may read about it in newspapers. The struggle between the majority Buddhist Myanmarese or Burmese people and the Rohingya Muslim. The it's a it's a semi-political and religious issue in which the Buddhist majority, they are not granting equal right to the Muslims. So the the battle is still raging on in many countries, and we should be thankful, we should be grateful that we have been given citizenship, and the citizenship itself should not be taken for granted because we have had to suffer a long. We in person, we could not have been there while the struggle was going on, but our ancestors, they had to suffer, and so they bestowed us. We inherited a free country from them. We need to take this struggle into account. Now, citizenship is more about the relationship between state and their members. So citizenship is not just um, uh, you know a business dynamic. It is not a business thing that you uh, you seek something from uh, the the state. You seek something from the national government because you are member of a country. You are member of that particular government. It doesn't work this way. They are also citizen dynamic. So inter-citizen dynamic is also there, in which you cannot always cite your privilege and invoke your rights. You you should also keep this in mind that there are many other citizens like you, like us, that need those rights, and you also need to uh, um, you also need to shoulder some responsibilities and obligations against the citizens, uh, and these include not just the legal obligation imposed by the state, but also moral obligation to participate in and contribute to the shared life of community. Yes, so things should not be legal. Your things should not be seen through legal lens always. Sometimes, or I would say the most of the time, you need to see the moral dynamic. That's why you will hear uh, this phrase a lot of time, latter and spirit. So in India, the legal jurisprudence or the legal dictionary, it does not work on what is written. It does not work on the words only. It is also it also takes into account the spirit, the background, the morality behind it. So what this paragraph is saying, it is nudging us, it is uh, convincing us that we need to see things in both letter and spirit. Legal aspects are there, but you need to take moral aspects as well. In the same way, there are legal obligations upon us, but we need to take the moral obligations as well. The next subtopic is about full and equal membership. So, this subtopic has been included here because we are a diverse country and we are a very populous country. And in such a case, resources are limited. First, limited resources are there, and second, the population. We are a bulging country. We are not just populous. We are we have overstretched ourselves, overstretched the capacity of resources to feed ourselves. So in the bulging population, and the third dynamic is the diversity of culture, the cultural diversity. So while taking all the three things into account, so sooner or later, the insider versus outsider, this thing is bound to create tussles. This is because uh, when jobs are limited and people from outside the area, they are employed because of low wages or because they can assure quality work in low wages, and when market dynamics they are also going to full flow, so the market which works on demand and supply, and so low wages are really beneficial to whoever employing such low wages. For a contractor, if he is employing workers for from UP and Bihar, and those workers are working at 150 rupees a day, that is too low for survival, too low for existence. But since they can work for 150 rupees per day, and they can work in a qualitative way, in such a case, a contractor or whoever is employing them, they're bound to keep them. And this foundation or this employment, this will create tussles with those who are already there, the local people. So local people may not work for 150 rupees a day, but since outsider, they are facing a really dire situation. They are facing glaring poverty. So 150 rupees for them, it is something that they can feed their stomach with. But the local population, they may not realize it, or they may not stand up with it. In such a case, it is bound to create an insider versus outsider tussle, such as the Mumbaikar. Recently in Haryana, there have been calls to restrict job for the local people. So if the issue has become regional, how can we can say that mm, we have been granted full and equal membership? Because if full and equal membership is there, we have been granted certain rights, and one of such rights of Part 3, the fundamental right, Article 19, that allow us to move anywhere, the freedom of movement. And we we keep moving because whichever part of country we are living in, certain all the industries are not concentrated there. So if somebody is working in IT, he is or she is likely to migrate to Bangalore or some IT area. If somebody is preparing for civil services, they are likely to shift in Delhi. If somebody is working in tanneries, if somebody is working in the sugar industries, they are likely to shift to Kanpur or Mumbai, Marathwada area. If somebody is working in fishing industry, they are likely to shift to coastal areas. So here, this insider versus outsider thing, it is um, at first it is not justified. Yes, local employment may suffer, but the justification for insider versus outsider thing, it is not possible at all because a certain population, a certain educated and young population of a particular player, say a population of young population of Rajasthan. So having completed their studies, their graduates and post graduation, all of them are not likely to look for jobs only in Rajasthan. And all the industry, all the subjects, all the occupations they have studied for, they are not available in a particular area. So it is certain that they are going to migrate and they are going to look for job elsewhere or look for places where their occupations suit. So in this thing, at first our constitution it has granted us the right to movement, but the people they are making an insider versus outsider issue. So this talk of or this provision of full and equal membership, it comes into question. Now, one of the rights granted to a citizen is freedom of movement that has already been talked about, and labor tends to migrate in search for jobs, and there are markets available. So the markets for skilled and semi-skilled or unskilled people, it is not concentrated at a one place. So this market is decentralized. It decentralized means it is spread in every nook and corner. So whoever gets settled with, or whoever opts for a particular market, he or she is likely to migrate. An example is given here. IT workers they may flock to towns like Bangalore. Nurses from Kerala they are found all over country. So people are bound to move, and this right has been given. But often resistance build up among the local people against so many jobs going to people from outside the area. So at first, in India, in Indian citizenship portfolio, there is no here or there. India is a country, and this the particular states. I'm talking about the regional state. The regional states they have their identity both for historical reasons that they were there. So just the Rajasthan, it was there because of its earlier position as Rajputana. In the same way, Maharashtra is there because it was already a Bombay province. But in a larger picture, none of these regional states they are settled, or they are permanent. So the Indian Constitution it's talk about permanence of Indian state. India in the Indian government or India, it is permanent. But the regional states they are not permanent, and government and people they can easily organize or settle their boundary issues. In short, in Indian Constitution, it has been written that the government of India it can reorganize the territorial extent of India, or the Indian state it can reorganize all the states of India in the manner possible in democratic and debatable way. So the issue of insider versus outsider should not be there. But since we are a country that is culturally diverse and the freedom struggle and the constitution itself, it has been drafted and adopted by common will of people. So uh, some locality or some cultural attachment is there, and that cultural attachment it is creating such insider versus outsider issues. And the other thing is there may be some organized violence against such outsider, such as in the northeast states, especially in Assam. There is a raging issue against the outsider, and often this issue has turned to be violent. But if we look at the issue from another angle, the jobs in a particular region they are scarce, and if compared with the population we are now, it become understandable that yes, local resident, whoever they are, whichever region they are, their resources are already thin. Their population is already overstretched. In such a situation, they would like that the local jobs or certain jobs they need to go to themselves. But the another factor, there may be difference between our response to poor migrant and skilled migrants. And this raises the question whether poor and unskilled workers should have the same right to live and work anywhere as do skilled workers. So this issue is between, you know, poor and rich, or between skilled and unskilled. And yes, a skilled worker, someone who has done masters or who has done PhD, who is well educated, uh, a white collar job. So this is between white collar versus blue collar job, and white white collar jobs or white collar people they are seen in a different light. They if they settle to a certain place, they are given a warm welcome. They are provided accommodation. They are healthily welcome. But the unskilled workers, especially those manual workers, daily laborers, they are not accepted in ready life. But now see this all of this talks in a constitutional way. So disputes may sometimes arise even in democratic society, yes, and especially in a populous countries such as India and populous and culturally diverse countries such as India, such disputes are likely to arise. How can such disputes be resolved? The right to protest is an aspect of freedom of expression guaranteed to citizens in our constitution. Yes, citizenship has granted us the freedom of speech and expression, and it is a fundamental right. And such populous and resource-wise stretched country, a culturally diverse country such as India, disputes are bound to take many forms. It may be violent, it may be uh, secessionist, such as the Khalistan issue, but our constitution it has granted us right to protest. But this right to protest or to this right to raise an issue or this right to stretch a dispute, it has some reasonable restriction, which are that even if people are granted the freedom of expression, their protests should not harm an individual or property of people or state. Citizens are free to try and influence public opinion. Yes, our constitution has granted this authority or granted this power to people that they can influence public opinion. They can rally people, they can form groups, they can hold demonstration, they can hold dharna, they can speak to media, they can appeal to political parties, and even they can approach courts. And court may give decisions on the basis of uh, fair rationales. It may urge the government to address the issue. Overall, this democratic process is slow, but uh, we have seen that even our constitution itself, even the way we got freedom, it has been a long drawn, slow process. The drafting of constitution, it was slow itself, but yes, democratic process, they create long lasting results. So all in all, constitution has given us the right to protest, but this protest, it need to be peaceful. And if we are peaceful, the constitution has given us right to resolve the issue in all the non-violent way possible. We can hold demonstration, we can speak to media, we can rally, we can organize mass meetings, we can approach courts, we can approach foreign media. So many such non-violent methods available. Yes, the guiding principle of providing a full and equal membership to all citizens in kept in mind. Yes, if this full and equal membership issue is still there. So if we have been granted full and equal membership, so it should be possible to arrive at an acceptable solution. Yes. So in the other words, what the writers here they are saying that if a person X has been given full and equal membership, but he cannot seek all the resources to himself. He cannot acquire and hold all the resources to himself because the same membership, full and equal membership, it is also given to another citizen Y and Z and A and B and many such people. So if this equal membership has been given to all the people and all the people being talked about, they are culturally, materially, resource-wise diverse, in such a case, the only solution, only acceptable solution is by sitting together and talking it out. And the basic principle of democracy is that such disputes should be settled by negotiation and discussion rather than force. This is also an obligation of citizenship. Yes, if you are given full and equal membership, so are others. So you should keep that in mind. You should also keep this in mind that our country is diverse. In such a case, disputes are bound to arise. But if you are keen on resolving these disputes in non-violent way, many such methods are available, many such tools are available to you. And one such principle of democracy is that such dispute there should be settled by negotiation and discussion. Because right now you may have a dispute and you may want to seek the verdict in your favor, but the other diverse sections of people, uh, the SCs, the STs, the people from Northeast and the South India, the people of Northern Kashmir and people from West Bengal, the rich people, the poor people, the Hindus, the Muslims, the vegetarian people, the non-vegetarian people, the cultural minorities and the cultural majorities. If you take all of them into account, your issue or your recognition of getting all the rewards to yourself, that that belief is also shared by others. Others will also want to secure all the resources to themselves, and if those disputes, if they are not settled in a negotiable way, they are bound to create tussles, they are bound to create secessionist movement. So this is one of our obligations. The next topic is about granting equal rights to all the citizens. So the first question is that whether full and equal membership means that all citizens, whether rich or poor, privileged or unprivileged, advantaged, disadvantaged, uh, urban people, rural people, majority or minority, they should be guaranteed certain basic rights and minimum standards of living by the state. Yes, this issue has often appeared on the scene many a times. So to talk about the issue, first take the example of urban poor. Urban poor are the people who are living in these slums, often on the pavements. So these people, they contribute to the economy by their usual activities, economic activities, and they work at low age wages, and they are not welcomed anywhere. They are blamed for straining the resources, for spreading crime and disease. But these people who are living in slums, who are living in very precarious existence, because you may have heard about the slums in Mumbai and Delhi, many metropolitan areas. The situation there is in tatters. They do not have sanitation. They do not have supply of basic amenities such as water, shelter. So they are living in near animal existence. But these people, they contribute a significant amount to economy, such as hawkers, petty traders, scavengers, domestic workers, plumbers, mechanics, and small businesses such as cane weaving, textile printing. So all these people, they may be living a different way, but they are contributing to our economy in a really positive way. So it is our duty to at least think for them, since they are also part of our country, they also belong to us, and what is common between us, the thread that weaves us, the membership, the citizenship. So being citizens together, we are brothers in arms, and having having educated ourselves to this level, and having preparing for civil services examination. When some of you may be aspiring some positive changes in society. In such a case, you need to take this idea into account that those slum dwellers, those urban poor, they are also citizens of this country, and in short, they are brothers in arms. And now the awareness about the condition of urban poor, it is getting attraction, and recently government, it has started a policy on street vendors, some slum dwellers. So these street vendors who work on the street in big cities, so they have been getting some relief and getting some positive economic political and economic respite from the state. So this respite is not enough at all, because they are too many, and some of such decisions, some of the actions that have been taken by government, um, they will take some time to become fruitful. But in short, yes, the this issue of urban poor, this issue of slum dwellers, it is getting attraction. And the other side of it, slum dwellers are also becoming aware of their rights and beginning to organize to demand such rights. But the problem with their political rights is that granting political rights, it needs a fixed address, habitation, a residence area, a residence address. But these people, they do not have such. And now talking about the other people that are getting marginalized in our society are tribal people and forest dwellers. So especially those who are living in uh, tribe in the forest of central India, northeast India, the islands of Andaman Nicobar, and the mineral-rich Chota Nagpur belt. You will read about it in geography classes. The mineral-rich belt of India that stretch from Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and this area, this belt, this is rich in minerals such as manganese, zinc, iron, coal, but this area is also rich in the tribal diversity. So many such uh, tribal, if you do not know, there are around 750 scheduled tribes or tribes in India, and many of the populous ones such as the Gonds, Santhals, Bhils, Muria, Kol, these populous, these scheduled tribes that are in great numbers, they are living in this central Indian belt of Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and these people, many of them, they are living in uh, a symbiotic relationship with the forest. A symbiotic relationship is one in which both the parties, their existence and their activities, whether physical or economic, they benefit each other. So symbiosis itself means to benefit each other. So in their symbiotic relationship, which they have been living for time immemorial, such people, they call the whole forest belt as their home. But here the dilemma is between granting such people their rights and the economic development of India, because the belt in which they exist, in which they live, and the belt in which they call their home, it is also mineral rich belt. And these minerals, manganese, zinc, iron, copper, these minerals, they are necessary for economic development of India. So some commercial interests such as mining, it is necessary so that these resources they can put to good use. But mining these resources, they also entails that the area that would be ecologically it will be destroyed, and such ecological destruction also means that many of the tribal, they need to be expelled or they need to be shifted from this place. So here the real dilemma comes between the lives of these people versus the economic development of India. Now, a gist of the subtopic: different group of people may have different needs and problems. Yes, and in Indian case, in the cultural and the diversity of India, this issue, this this otherness or this talk of having different things, whether it is different needs, different issues, different ideas, different aspirations, and different rights, or different outlooks. So this different kind of thing, it is glaringly prevalent in India. And it is so because India is diverse. India is diverse in ecology. India is diverse in topography. India is a country in which there is desert, there is a desert, Thar desert, but there is also snow-clad mountains. There are around 10,000 small and big rivers in India. There is a plateau in India. They are fertile plains, they are drought prone areas, there is a peninsula in India, a deltaic portion in the southern India, there are mid-range mountains in India, there are also young and old mountains in India. So the topography, it is so diverse in India, and if you opt for anthropology or sociology, you will know that culture is an outcome of geography. So different people, if topography of if the geography, that would be a good term for a layman. Yes, if geography is diverse, it is bound to create diverse cultures. So in India, these different diverse culture, they are so many, and if they are so many, they they are, they will have different needs and problems, and in such a case, conflict is bound to arise. So equal rights for citizen, it does not mean uniform policies, and it does not mean that all such diverse section of people, they are uniformly brought into a certain umbrella of policies or certain umbrella of rights. It's one size fits all policy will not work here. So different equal rights for citizen does not mean that uniform policies have to be applied to all people, since different people of different groups of people may have different needs. If the purpose is not just to make policies which would apply in the same way to all people, but to make people more equal, the different needs and claims of people would have to be taken into account. Yes, that is a good proposition. Yes, 'cause if people are different, if their needs and aspirations are different, if they are culturally different, in such a case, uniform policies should be avoided at all costs. Because such uniform policy, they may create future tussles which we may not see right now. The best way out is to take their differentness, take their diversity into account, and then negotiate it, discuss it, deliberate upon it, and come at a you know well accepted solution. Yes, the final caveat here: it changes in the world situation, the economy, society, new interpretations of meaning of rights and citizens, they will become clear. Yes, the world is changing. Right now, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, genetic engineering, 3D printing, machine printing, lab grown commodities, nanotechnology, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. So the the world is changing in a different way. The world is more becoming tech savvy. The world is more becoming heavy with technology and heavy with sophisticated technology. So the technologies are, the devices are, the chips are. Yeah, I have failed to mention semiconductors also. So right now, devices are becoming thin, devices are becoming more agile, devices are becoming more processable, and the world is getting tech heavy. And such tech heavy world, it is eating out the mining resources. It is taking a heavy burden on mining because many of the components that we use in all such technologies are they are rare earth elements that need to be mined, and the working, the execution of all such technologies, they take heavy toll on energy demands of country or energy demands of the world. So this is the turn the world is taking, and in both the cases, there is a heavy pressure on the natural resources, and the resources here that are being talked about are the The rare earth elements that are used in all such electronics and semi-electronics components such as cobalt, bismuth, and all such new technologies, they consume a lot of energy. You might have heard about the, the artificial intelligence, the quantum computers or artificial chatbots that accumulate all the information, that analyze all the information, and when the information from all over the world, the information that has been there since the writing first started in the country, in the world, from that time, the accumulation and the processing of information, when it feeds to the algorithms, these algorithms, they consume a lot of energy. A single giant AI-led computer that is fed an information of a particular city, it consumes more energy than the city itself. These new directions, they will take the, the law, the idea of constitution, they will steer politics to a newer interpretation. And there will be newer interpretations on the meaning of rights citizenship. The formal laws regarding citizenship only form the starting point, and these interpretations, they are constantly evolving. And with changing dynamics, there will be many further interpretations and many other directions. The world will still steer itself only if people that are the present now, the people that are using the AI, the people who are working as slum dwellers, and the people who are living in the forest, all the three of them, they are so distinct from each other. And their interpretation of right, it will be quite different. In such a case, democracy is the only way out. Sit together and find a solution. That's for now. We will talk the rest in the part 2 of the chapter. Thank you.